Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's Josh Goldstein, your favorite immigration lawyer, coming at you. Hope everyone is doing amazing on this Monday. I am excited to dig in and talk about immigration, answering any questions or trying to answer them that you may have. Um, I am coming to you from Los Angeles on a cold being a relative thing, cold and overcast day. Hope everyone is doing great. And today, the topic that I want to talk about is I want to talk about 2024. We have a big year, and there are a lot of predictions about what will happen with immigration. And so I want to run through a few of them, and I think that would help you out. First of all, when it comes to immigration, you have to understand that we have a bunch of things going on. And the first thing that you need to know, the number one thing in 2024, as far as immigration predictions goes, is we have a massive election. If Donald Trump wins this election, we are so screwed when it comes to immigration. So you need to vote. You need to vote. And if you're a U.S. citizen, you need to cast a ballot. Biden. I don't want to make this podcast about Biden versus Trump. Biden, you may not love Biden, you may not think he's great, but the alternative is Trump, and so that's the way it is, and that's the way you're going to have to think about it. So the number one thing that you have to know is that there's an election coming up. Now, what else is important? Well, because there's an election coming up, you're going to hear more stories about immigration. Do you understand? For example, do you remember the caravan that was coming to the U.S.? That was something that was brought out before the midterm election. It didn't work, but they tried it. So there's the election coming out. I'm going to also stop and take questions. If you have questions, put them in here. I'll do a full case review for anyone who posts questions, by the way. One of the things I want to tell you is, why should you pay attention with what I have to say? Who am I? Well, I'm Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer, and I've been practicing immigration law full-time for more than 20 years. We have an office with a national presence, with offices on the East Coast, on the West Coast. We handle thousands of cases. I've handled all sorts of cases for every specific case type and everything like that. Do I work with MetLife Insurance? No, I don't. That's one question. So, Appalachian Aerial Photography and Video. That is a cool name. I would love to see some aerial photography of Appalachia. Some drones, some slow motion shots. This person asks, I filed a K-1 visa on July 28th, 2023. When should my case be sent to the State Department? I would say a year is a good benchmark. It probably should be approved and sent within a year. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any other specific questions. So one change we talked about is the election. Another big change is coming up on April 1st. USCIS is raising its filing fees significantly. Significant raising of filing fees. That means that applying for naturalization, or for a green card through marriage, or for a fiance visa, or for many of the other things like that, is going to get significantly more expensive. So one way around that, if you can, file it now. File it now. Okay, let me ask a question here. Answer a question. The questions are coming in. Can someone write a check for you when submitting your documents? I think what you're asking, Trey, is if you're applying for immigration benefits for USCIS, can someone else write a check for the filing fees? And the answer is yes. That's true. Anna Quemson. I've been waiting for my daughter's interview for a visa. It's been 2 years. She's 6. I have a 6-year-old. Is this Sean, Florida? Is this live? Yes, it's live. I am live right now. Totally live. I've never been more alive. Yes. So if you've been waiting for 2 years for your daughter's interview and she's 6, something's wrong. We need to take action. That does not sound right. Let me know if you have questions, Sean. Says here, let me know if you guys have questions. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. If you've been waiting for a year for Kenya for an embassy interview? Well, there are two choices that you have. One is to keep waiting, and the other is to file a lawsuit. And I don't think you should keep waiting too much longer. Sean, what are your questions about EB5? Let me know, please. My DUI got this is from Moha Shaggy. I like that name. My DUI got dismissed, but I have careless driving. Could that affect citizenship? Well, yes and no. First of all, I think if it's handled properly, you shouldn't get denied. What you should do is get a certified copy of the disposition, bring it to the interview, and disclose it. I think that would help you. So let me know. Okay, Sean from Florida says, does the investor applying for EB5 need a minimum amount of cash in reserves and escrow? So EB5 is the immigrant investor visa program. I haven't done one of those cases in a long time. I'm not an expert. If you email me, I can refer you to someone who does this work. But there are two ways to do it. One is through direct investment, and the other is through a regional center. And my understanding, like 90% of the people who get green cards do it through regional center investments. Okay. Hi, sir. After approval of I-129F NOAA 2, I don't know what NOAA 2 means. I think there are some people that use the term notice of approval. What's notice of approval 2 mean? I hope that answer was helpful, Sean. There is an attorney I really recommend for EB5, Darren Silver in Los Angeles area. That's one guy. Bernard Wolfsdorf in Los Angeles area is another person. Ron Klusko, I think, is another guy. These people do tons of these work. I'm not asking me about EB5 is like asking your foot doctor about your heart problems. I'm not the right guy for you. So apologize. Here's Moha Shaggy, another good question. What do I specialize in? Sean said, I help people with delayed immigration cases. I do that through writ of mandamus lawsuits. We do family-based immigration. We help people get green cards through marriage. We help people apply for their children, for their parents. We help people with naturalization cases, waivers, I-601 waivers, DACA, TPS, things of this nature. We don't do asylum. We don't do investor visas. Hope that helps. Why are your filing prices not negotiable? Well, I'll share my thinking on this. First of all, people always ask us, so how much do you charge? in order for me to answer a question of how much we charge for our fees, we have to know more about your case, right? It's like if I called a auto repair place and I said, well, how much do you charge? I need you to fix my car. How much do you charge? Well, I don't know. Do you need a new engine or do you just need a brake job? Like, it depends. So I need to know more about your case to know what you specifically need help with, so that I can figure out whether we can help you. And if we can help you, the more information that I get from you about your situation, it tells me how much it would cost for me to handle this. That's how we know. And once we figure that out, we give people a quote for our services, and that's it. What we don't do is we don't haggle with people like, okay, how about this price? No, how about that price? Our prices are very transparent, straightforward, flat fee, all inclusive. Most of our clients are from countries where bargaining and haggling and discounts are something that's the norm. And we're just not, we're busy. We have a lot of work to do. We charge a fair price for our services. And if you want to hire us, that's what it costs. If you don't want to hire us, we can still be friends. I'll still answer all your questions. It's nothing personal. Does that make sense? Here's someone, Maria Camacho. Oh, this is a great question. I have DACA. I got married to a U.S. citizen. How can I apply for a green card? Okay, Maria, let me ask you this question. Did you enter the U.S. without inspection? Did you come across the border without inspection? Let me know in the comments below. While I'm waiting for that, I'm assuming that someone with DACA entered the U.S. without inspection. Okay. Waria Boy says, stop ignoring me. I'll get back to you in a second. So I'm talking about Maria right now. Maria, if you're listening, congratulations on getting engaged to get married. That's awesome. So the fact that you entered the U.S. without inspection is going to be a problem. Okay. Now, if I were meeting with you one-on-one, I would want to know more about your entry. How many times have you entered the U.S.? Have you ever been to immigration court? Have you ever applied for asylum, and so on? The solution that I would be looking for you. And again, I don't want you to rely on this because I would need to know more about your situation before I can recommend this. But could you apply for advanced parole to travel internationally and come back to the U.S.? And then that would set you up with the ability to apply for a green card. Could you do that? That's what I would be looking at. Came here as a baby and never left. Maria, can you do me a favor? Can you book an appointment with me and my team? Because I believe we could really help you. I can give you good advice. I can put you in a good situation. Here's someone who says, I'm your client. Thank you. And embassy got an extension due March 7th. There is a change to get an answer this week. Okay, well, I've answered this many times, but let me give you my thinking on this. So if you have a delayed immigration case, the solution that we offer is to file a lawsuit against the agency. We sue them in court. And when we sue them, they get 60 days to respond. That's it, 60 days. At the end of the 60-day period, usually around day 59, 58, right before that 60-day period, the defendants have to file an answer in court. They never file an answer. So what they will do is they will ask me for an extension, and we typically agree to the extension. Why do we do this? One, it's a professional courtesy. And second, once we've granted the extension, that is a magical time when the cases start to move. What does movement look like? Movement looks like this. It looks like that you get a letter saying they need more information on your case. They need you to do another medical exam. They need you to send your passport, etc. We're looking for movement. And it's in that third and fourth month, right where you are now, where there's the extension. It's in that period of time when I'm hopeful that you're going to get some good news on your case. Anna Shaw, my I-751 is pending from 2012. What should be done about that? That's a great question, Anna. First of all, you should book an appointment with our team. This would be a good case for us. We can help you with this. One idea that I have, first of all, I'd have to know way more about your situation to give you advice, but a few solutions that you might consider. One is filing for naturalization. Why should you file for naturalization if you don't even have a green card and your I-751 is pending? Well, that would force them to make a decision on your I-751. So I love the idea of applying for naturalization. Because Anna, let me ask you this. If you were to get your green card today, what's the next thing you would probably do? My guess is that you would probably want to become a US citizen, right? So think about that. Consider it. So many great questions this morning. I love it. I love it. Thank you for asking them. Thank you for sharing time with me. Radicals. Josh, can I withdraw an EB2 application and refile for EB1 instead? Why do you want to withdraw it? Why do you want to refile? Why not just file a separate application? You could file multiple applications. You could get married and file for a green card through marriage and also file EB3, EB1, a green card through the lottery. You could file multiple things at the same time. So why not? Multilingual shopper is waiting 23 months for an I-45, the norm for New Orleans field office, 907 days of waiting total. That doesn't sound normal to me. That doesn't sound normal to you either. So I don't think it is normal. Here's Mohashagi, another question from our friend on TikTok. Do I need to attend an interview with an immigration lawyer to show certified dispositions? You do not need to go to your immigration interview with a lawyer. You do not need to do that. But should you bring an immigration lawyer to your interview? Absolutely. I've been to thousands and thousands and thousands of immigration interviews. How many interviews have I been to? That would be like asking you, how many times have you tied your shoe? Like, that's how many interviews I've been to. Someone sent me a rose on TikTok. Thank you. That's very cool. So if you bring me to your interview, it's not the act of me attending the interview that's going to be so impactful. It's the preparation. Me and my team are going to go through your case with a fine tooth comb. We're going to find everything. We're going to get you prepared. We're going to make sure you have all of the documents. We're going to make sure you know what questions to ask are going to be asked. We're going to go through everything to make sure that you nail that interview. And when we're there, we're going to be there by your side to make sure things go well. Lisandra, will a military PEP get rejected if a spouse didn't file a tax return as married or added a ITIN? Military parole in place is based on the fact that you have a military, you have a family member who's in the military or reserve, active duty, retired veteran, and you have a certain family relationship with them. It has nothing to do with taxes or anything like that. So I've seen you here before, Lysandra, and I'm happy you're here. I'd love to have you talk to our team and reach out to us. There's a link in my bio where you can book an appointment. Please do so. Waria boy, I'm done. Bye. I'm sorry. Here is a question. My spouse withdrew my I-130 twice, causing me mental stress. Currently in Ghana, can I file for VAWA? You can file for VAWA if you meet the requirements. And one of the requirements is that you have to show that you were subjected to battery or cruelty or abuse by your spouse. It's not enough that they caused you some stress, that you really have to document the abuse. And maybe they manipulated you. Maybe it's not physical abuse. Maybe it's emotional abuse. Maybe it's manipulation. There's a pattern of behavior that I think rises to the level of abuse that could result in your case getting approved. Danny Wilson, our friend on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Hey, Josh, how long does it take for USCIS to process my marriage case after they received my response when they request for evidence? Well, it depends. It depends on the nature of the request for evidence. Is this a very complex request for evidence where they're like asking all sorts of questions about your living arrangements, and it's like hard to do. Or maybe they just ask you for your medical exam. I think that would be what I would say would determine how long it's going to take them to review it. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Layla says, "What is the tax return?" This is a good question. What is the tax return documents needed when the co-sponsor is the president of many businesses? Okay. So Danny, if you got a request for evidence for a medical exam, you should get approved quickly. So I'm not going to congratulate you, but I'm giving you a bottle of champagne. The cork is in there. We're not going to pull the cork out of the champagne, but I think we're gonna do that soon. So congrats tentatively to you. Here's from Layla on TikTok. What is the tax return documents needed when the co-sponsor is the president of many businesses? Well, I think you need a different co-sponsor, because if your co-sponsor is the president of many businesses, then I bet his tax return or her tax return is probably going to show a negative AGI or a very low AGI. And I'd rather have you find someone who has a job, who's an employee with a W-2. That's what